Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
The Jackson County Fair Board, in conjunction with Total Media, proudly present Neil McCoy. Neil McCoy. Saturday, July 15th at the Jackson County Fair. VIP track access seats now available for only $30, which includes admission to the fair. Get tickets now at JacksonCooHfair.com or at the Total Media Studios in Jackson.
Good morning. Happy Monday, everyone. And welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where it is Monday and we do the morning news update. And of course, that means our good friend Pete Wilson is here in the house. And our morning news update is sponsored by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. And if you have any real estate needs, boy, does she have a lot of listings right now, and she's out representing a lot of people. So there's a reason for that.
Right.
Give her a call.
And you know what I noticed on some of those signs? SOLD.
A lot of SOLDs on there.
Right.
I saw that beautiful home there on South Street had an SOLD sign on it yesterday.
Right.
So.
Certainly one of the oldest and nicest homes in Jackson. And it was sold pretty quickly.
Most beautiful, one of the most beautiful homes there. And so, yeah, very, very nice. And yeah, give Nia a call if you are in need of any real estate stuff.
418-4135. And don't let it deter you if the line is busy.
Nope, because she only has 2 ears.
Right.
So she can only have
But
two hands, 2 ears.
I think she has more than one phone, though.
I think she does.
I've seen her at work.
You're exactly right. She can multitask for sure.
Right. And one thing on Nia, I know that she's very careful about the distracted driving because you know that she's on a call when you see her van pulled off to the side somewhere.
If you're lucky, she pulls off to the side. It doesn't just stop in the middle of the road.
Not all the way across.
Okay. No, we're just kidding you, Nia. You do a great job, and thank you for being here. So, well, what's going on with the news? It's been a little bit since we've gotten to catch up on the news,
Right.
Pete.
Well, you know, we went through that big weekend where there was so much going on, graduations, alumni, festival flags, Memorial Day, other things. So we're going to broad brush that, but, you know, we don't want to ignore it because we got some good material to show, some video material. But more on the current news, we're going to start off with a tragedy.
Oh, no.
Yesterday we had in the early morning hours on Sunday, we had a fatality-related wreck that occurred.
No.
And it occurred at 1:14 a.m. Sunday in the city of Wellston on State Route 93 at or near the intersection of Driving Park Road. That's where you go into the Jackson County Fairgrounds. And a young man, a young man from Wellston by the name of Matthew Carl, age 32, lost his life in a single vehicle motorcycle wreck. This comes from the State Highway Patrol. As I said, reported at 1:14 a.m. Sunday. Mr. Carl was operating a Yamaha motorcycle southbound on State Route 93. He failed to negotiate a curve. The cycle went off the left side of State Route 93, struck a guardrail, overturned back onto the highway before coming to rest on the right side of the roadway. Matthew was taken to Holzer Medical Center, Jackson Hospital by Jackson County EMS. However, he was later pronounced dead.
I hate that.
So, that closed down the road there for several hours. Of course, that was in the middle of the night, so a lot of people may not have been aware that it happened. That story, to the extent that we have it, is on our website already, thetelegrammnews.com, so you can check out the information. If there's any updated or added information, of course, we'll have that, in our print edition and update the website as well. The crash does remain under investigation, but from what we understand, a single vehicle wreck involving a motorcycle. And that leads me into a little segue. Don't have this article in front of me, but I saw it sent in. We'll have it in the paper. But the Highway Patrol, they kind of put this out just before Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
But the 100 days from Memorial Day through the 4th of July and into August are the 100 deadliest days of the year as far as fatality-related crashes in the state of Ohio.
Really?
You're right. And,
I guess that makes sense.
Right. They're talking about the volume of traffic. They're
Yep.
talking about, the weather, more people being out probably. They're talking about more motorcycles being out on the road. Because I didn't realize this stat, but this kind of was arresting to me. 28% of the fatalities in the state of Ohio involve a motorcycle.
Whoa.
That is very high, isn't
That
it?
very.
Now, I think we know that when there's a motorcycle, a buggy, a four-wheeler, something like that, less than the size of a normal
You're obviously not
automobile,
as protected.
yeah,
and
you're much
yeah.
more vulnerable. But
Yeah.
that stat kind of got me. But what they talked on the motorcycles was, of course, wear a helmet. It's not the law that you have to, but certainly
Sure.
advised by the Highway Patrol. And you have to, I think, even more so than if you're in a car, you have to drive defensively because you're the one who is at greater risk if there is a collision.
Correct. And I like to give this preach several times during the summertime thing is, people driving cars don't look for motorcycles, and you need to consciously, when you're out in the summertime, look for motorcycles and different golf carts and different vehicles like that, because you're looking for this big car coming at you, and sometimes you don't see that motorcycle because it's smaller or it's in your blind spot or whatever. So just be really extra careful about that and look twice instead of once before you pull out.
You really have to, for sure. But probably the story that gained the most attention late last week was an itinerant black bear that made its appearance in Jackson County. And we got that news out pretty quickly, but we got an update over the weekend. We were able to talk to Ted Witham, of course, the state wildlife officer. We've had him on TV before.
Yes, love Ted. He's awesome.
Does a great job, very articulate, explaining
He's great.
About animals and wildlife and all like that.
Learned
of course,
so much from him.
Ted was off work last week when all this happened. You know that his cell phone was blowing up and whatever. But he was good enough to give me a call on Saturday and give me an update. But this bear now has been seen, documented, and we'll talk about photographs, at least 5 times in Jackson County. Now, the good news is, as far as the bear and anyone being worried about the bear for their own safety or for the bear's safety, the bear has not been seen since the early morning hours Friday. But in a period of almost 48 hours, it was seen 5 times. And when I'm talking about seen, it was either on a surveillance camera, a trail camera, or somebody got a photograph or a video of it. Here is this shot was taken by Jackson Police Department. We have it online, by the way, and it blew up like an Elvis sighting on our social media. But that bear was seen. That was on Canterbury Drive, just across Burlington Road from Holzer
from
Medical
the hospital.
Center.
Sure.
So this is actually in the city here.
Aww.
And if you look through
Oh God, he's going toward the highway.
Right. Well, there was a Facebook post, I believe that I'm going to say that Shannon Weber put it up because it was Wellston Historical Association. Shannon is the president. Shannon works at Atomic Credit Union down at Piketon.
Okay.
And he posted, or Wellston Historical Association posted, that's where he posted it, that when he was out on the highway at 7:30 a.m., the bear crossed the highway in front of him. And this was on Thursday.
Okay.
And this is in the time zone when it was seen at near Holzer and along Canterbury Drive.
Gotcha.
It was in some backyards there, kind of walking along the highway. Well, he actually saw it along the highway, and then he saw it cross the highway. And at the time
that's
that we
one
had,
you don't see every day.
no, you would do a double take there. But the bear crossed the highway. He saw it. He had you could see the outline of the bear along the road. That was his picture that he posted. It wasn't a video. But since then, the bear has now been seen one other time. I got this from Facebook and verified it with a firsthand connection with the person who posted it. But Jeremy and Ashley Sturgill that live out on Standpipe Road.
Yeah.
Not too far from where you live, I think.
Exactly.
Well, they live on Standpipe Road near US Route 35.
Yes.
And it showed up on their camera
Yes.
in the middle of the night. In the early morning hours, it was actually Friday.
Not making Jen feel much better.
Right. And here is what she said about it. She said that it's just... She said that it nosed around but didn't do any damage and then walked off shortly. The bear was heading south when it departed their property, which I think is your direction, if I'm not
Super.
mistaken.
That's awesome.
But that was the last time that it has been seen.
So here's the deal. And so I was talking with some neighbors about this, which they are our neighbors as well. And I don't know, are you going to get to what Ted...
Yes, I am.
Okay. The bear is small.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, so...
He's called a subadult, according to Ted.
Yeah. He's not, I mean, when you think of black bear, you're thinking of this big grizzly bear, coming at you. And if you do if you take the surveillance videos and things like that and compare him to whatever, I'm thinking he's about, and I was talking to my neighbor about this, he's about the same size as my mini donkey. Mm-hmm. And he's not very big right now.
Right.
He will be.
Right.
But so don't think there's this big grizzly bear running the countryside of, Jackson County.
No, it is. As a matter of fact, the first time that the police heard about a bear that was seen, somebody identified it as a cub.
Okay.
Now,
because he's small.
Ted Witham is sure
guy.
We're talking about the same bear. You can't be 100% certain, but given the fact how many bear sightings there are.
So... That is true. Is there another one?
No, he is almost sure that it's
Same
not,
one.
that there's not. But the 5 places where it was seen, for those, just to recount, in the Mount Zion Road area, near the Mount Zion Veterinary Clinic.
Yes.
In that area right there, which is just on the edge of town.
Yes.
Then over there on Canterbury Drive, Burlington Road area, the Sturgill residence up there on Standpipe Road. Uh-huh. And then it was seen another place too, and that was on Monroe Hollow Road. Now, Ted was unable to verify that because he did not see a picture, but he talked to somebody who said they had a picture. So we presume that no one's making that up.
Monroe Hollow, where is it? It
is way down, it is south of Oak Hill, southwest of Oak Hill, Monroe Hollow Road. And it was seen there before it was seen anywhere else. So the thought is that the bear is heading north.
Okay.
May have crossed the river from Kentucky. And by the way, bears can swim as good as dogs.
Yep.
So Ted feels that it probably came from West Virginia to Kentucky, probably most likely Kentucky, and is heading north. The other place that it was seen, and this was not known before, this was turned into Ted Witham as well, was on Hammertown Lake Road, which is city property, but outside the city about 3 or 4 miles. And it was seen near the gate, the entrance to Hammertown Lake, there on off Just Go West Road, but on Hammertown Lake Road. It was seen on a camera there, and he received, I did not have a recording of that, but he had a recording of it, so he could verify that. So that's 5 different places that the bear was seen. But he said this follows the same pattern of when bears are seen. And by the way, there was a bear that was seen either last year or the year before coming up through Oak Hill near the Festival of Flags, if you remember that.
Yep.
There was another verified sighting in 2019. So it doesn't happen very often. And there are other sightings that are not verified because if you don't have pictorial evidence and you're not a wildlife officer, it doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you have a video
just
or a picture.
Just because you said so on Facebook.
And he can look at it, it becomes verified. But anyway, the thought is that this is a 1-year-old bear that has been chased off by its mother.
So mommy kicks him out of the womb out of the den.
She kicks them out because they're adults now or young adults, and she's ready to have more babies. And she doesn't want them around. So they leave looking for 2 things, looking for new territory. And remember, they've been chased off. And the second thing they're looking for is a female. Now, he says because...
And some food along the way, too.
Yeah, and food. They're going to look for food. If you don't find a female, and they're not going to find females here in Jackson County or Ohio, he'll keep moving. And so the pattern has been that when the bears come from West Virginia or Kentucky, because you see them down in West Virginia and Kentucky, it's not really rare to see them there.
Sure.
Why they haven't become residents in Ohio, I can't say. But when they come through, when they come from Kentucky or West Virginia, they usually come north, for a little while. He said this bear may end up in Benton County if it isn't already, or maybe Gallia. It will turn and maybe head into West Virginia or Pennsylvania.
So go back where he came from,
Hard
or
to
close to where he came from.
Hard to say where it goes. He also said categorically, because people were worried about the bear safety. Some people may be worried for their own safety.
That's where I go with it.
Right.
Don't hurt him.
I know. The bear is not dangerous. He is sure of that. Now, if you harass the bear, try to catch the bear, chase the bear, it may take measures to protect itself. Any wild animal, when it's cornered or threatened, may take steps to protect themselves. But in and of itself, the bear is not dangerous. You should let it go. It is maybe misplaced, but it is not really lost. It's just searching. It's searching for its new future,
He needs
a new
his
home.
new home, yeah.
And this is not unusual for a young male black bear.
Sure.
So
just leave him alone, let him go about his business and do what nature, calls for him to do.
Right. But this, once again, this is not some bear that is necessarily in distress. It's maybe a little anxious looking for what it's looking for. And yes, it needs to eat. But the best thing that you can do, if you're worried about it still, is, secure your trash. Don't leave any food laying out.
Yep.
Maybe even take down your bird feeder because it can sniff those out. Excellent sense of smell.
Oh, yeah, James.
So, but anyway.
Dude, if you get that bear on your bird feeder cam, that would be the best thing ever. James has a bird feeder that has a camera on it.
if it's the same bear that was in the Monroe Hollow Road, and it showed up in the Jackson area, probably it passed through or near
probably
Oak Hill.
did go right by your house.
You're probably right. And that would be awesome. But I've actually not been putting as much feed in it recently because the deer keep eating it. So,
yeah. Okay.
So if the deer are doing it, the bear would definitely get it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, do not panic about the bear. Do not bother the bear. Just let him do what bears do.
Right, exactly. The bear should not be considered dangerous, but you should give it a wide berth.
Yeah,
that means, obviously it would be great to photograph or video, but I wouldn't maybe do it at a dead run going at the bear.
Maybe don't run up to him and try to get a selfie.
Now he is probably these bears are probably going to try to get away from you. They really do not want human interaction. They may want some food and they're drawn by that, but they're not looking to be like a domestic a dog or pet that you can befriend.
No.
All right. Okay, we'll switch to another thing today. This has been highly advertised, and it's very important. How many times, Jennifer, in the last 3 or 4 years, has there been a lot said by government and private business about the need in this area to improve internet service, broadband internet service?
Yes,
now, if you have good broadband internet service, it's not an issue. You don't think about it, but there's many people who don't have good service or service at all in southeastern Ohio. So you're just a little bit out of where you can get good broadband.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the state of Ohio, through the Buckeye Hills Regional Council, is doing what they're calling listening sessions, where they want people to come in. It can be private residents, it can be businesses, it can be government people, but they want to know firsthand from people about the need for better broadband service, a person's own experience and what they think needs to happen.
Okay.
One of those listening sessions is going to be today in Jackson.
Okay.
So this is an opportunity to go testify and be heard. It's going to be from 1 to 4 p.m. in the Potter Room at the Jackson City Library. And there's going to be other listening sessions around. One is going to be in Ross County tomorrow, and then in Athens County next Monday. And individuals unable to go to one of these listening sessions, or they're just not quite comfortable with that, or maybe it's during their working hours, they can go complete the Broadband Ohio Internet Access Survey, which is available at the buckeyehills.org/broadband website. Once again,
well, let's just go do that right now.
The buckeyehills.org/broadband website. They want as much input as they can.
Okay.
A lot of money is being flowed into better internet service by the government. Of course, the private providers, they want to ride the train too because they would benefit from having new customers and like that, but it's expensive to do.
Sure.
But they realize that in today's world, with the way communication is, if you don't have broadband, and you're a business in particular, you're going to be hurting.
Yeah.
And so,
well, and
in the rural areas away from towns is where it's needed, of course.
And it's interesting as we talked about, standpipe, and I do live out in that direction. You're 5 seconds from town, so it's really bizarre that we do have access to one particular company. It's just not very effective out there. So it's interesting to me. And as people are working more from home, a lot of times I go home to work because it's quieter and whatever. It makes it difficult sometimes to download things and all of that. So yeah, I would love to have my say and
right. Well,
that thing, because I know it affects kids at home that can't do their schoolwork.
It may affect where someone lives. Maybe
100%.
Hey, maybe a lot of folks like living in Southeastern Ohio, away from the city. Maybe this is where the family is. But then if you don't have this modern convenience, it may think you twice where you buy your house, or if you even live in a certain area.
It's interesting that you said that. I just rented a house, and fortunately enough, the house is on standpipe. Spectrum has actually covered half of Standpipe Road, but not my end of Standpipe, the Carmen's end of Standpipe. But so we own a house out there, and that was one of the probably first 2 questions out of the gentleman's mouth is, do I have access? I work from home. Do I have access to high-speed internet?
Right.
And that would have been a deal breaker.
With more and more people working remote, it becomes a livelihood thing.
For sure.
But a convenience communication thing these days. I mean, it is for, even somebody who doesn't have a work-related issue. But some of the things that you can bring up at these sessions, or you can just go to listen, what everybody says, it is possible solutions. They want to hear that. They want to hear about affordability, because, if you can't afford it, that can be an issue. Just having access to services, of course, access to devices so you can have service. And also, some people lack digital skills. So all these issues play into, the broadband internet issue. So anything is on the table, on broadband internet service, having it and being able to use it at these listening sessions. This is an opportunity. You don't have to dial somebody up on the phone or read something online or whatever. You can talk to a person who is an expert on it.
That's awesome.
And they want to hear from you.
That's great. Please take advantage of that if you're listening and you don't have access to
and these meetings
internet.
are going to be taking place all over the state, but I think probably I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say it's the biggest issue is in Southeastern Ohio.
Okay.
All right. The summer has come. There's a lot of construction taking place, and there is destruction taking place in the way of demolition projects. Some of these state-related projects, state-funded projects through grants in both Jackson and Vinton counties, the weather is better, contracts have been let, and things are starting to happen. 2 places where there are demolition projects taking place. First of all, in Wellston, the old pool hall on 2nd Street in Wellston, right next to the Jenkins Funeral Chapel. This is a photo that I took yesterday. Now, it's a very narrow window right there. There's Jenkins Funeral Chapel on the right. And
so Milton Bank would be catty corner.
Milton Bank would be catty corner,
all right.
exactly.
Trying to
right
think
there
of where
on the
that
corner
is.
of 2nd and Ohio Avenue. But you can see the big equipment in there, and it's all rubble now.
Yes.
But that's, if you go all the way back there, the worst place where it was actually collapsing was in the back, so a lot of people weren't even aware of that. But it has been torn down now, not cleaned up yet. But we had another photo just as they were starting. Dylan, if you can put that one up too. There it is. That was just when they were starting. You can see what the building looked like in front. It wasn't in very good shape.
That's terrifying to try to tear down buildings between buildings.
It doesn't take very long, but it just depends on the cleanup. Sometimes that takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But that has happened there on 2nd Street in Wellston.
Wow.
And I think Dylan, if you can put it up, also Red Thompson was there right when they were doing it and got just a little short video of that.
Okay.
Sorry, I do have it. For some reason, I cannot find it at the moment. Here we go.
Okay, all right. the old Hamden Junction restaurant probably has been inactive or vacant for what, Jennifer, 15, 20 years?
I would say 15 at least years.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty nice restaurant there for a short time. And before that, it was called the Elbow Room or something. That was back in the 70s or 60s.
Oh,
or
really?
whatever.
I just remember it being the Hamden Junction. So.
Right. But anyway, that property is being torn down as well. And I think, Dylan, we might have a still photo of that, the Hamden Junction. Yeah, there. Thank you. There it is right there. It's practically down there. That was about, 5 days ago when that photo was taken. But that location right there is seen as a real possible redevelopment location.
A really, really nice location for something. And well, when James and Dylan and I went up to, and I'm sure we'll talk about this for a second, but the Vinton County Bank groundbreaking, they had gotten a little bit further than what you see in that picture. And there is a giant, I did not know this, there was a giant basement evidently under that thing. So when we drove by, there's this, there's that rubble, but there's this ginormous like hole too that they're going to have to fill in. So
right. Well, it's
that is going to be a job.
It's right there along the main drag in Hamden.
Great prime location.
Right. In an area where there's been commercial before.
Yes.
It's very close to South Elementary School, so you have more traffic through there than you did before the school was there. And a lot of people drive by right there. And so, you have the visibility, which is important to any business. But these sites, once they're cleared off, they become available for sale.
Yes.
I know that the village of Hamden is very interested in promoting commercial development there. Whatever it might be.
Makes sense to me. It is a beautiful location.
Right. Now, the place down on 2nd Street in Wellston, that is a pretty narrow window to put something in there. It used to be a pool hall in its better days, but it is in the downtown area.
Sure.
And so, there is a possibility there. Another demolition project that could begin any day, maybe even this week, is the old bail bonds building across from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office.
Shouldn't take long to knock that sucker down, should it be?
No. We understand the contractor. When these contracts are let, the contractor has a certain amount of time to get the job done. It doesn't take a long time to do it. Sometimes 90 days is their window.
I feel like if you blow real hard, that building will fall over.
Well, it's been empty. It's been empty for some time, and it's right next to the old Michael's building, which of course has Michael's Ice Cream building, which was demolished a year or so ago.
Yes.
But I don't know whether this will happen or not. But this has been unofficial talk for some time. On the bail bonds building, when it comes down, I know the county is interested in the property for parking space.
Sure.
Now, that doesn't mean that's what'll happen. But I know the county is interested in it. But all these projects that we're talking about, the best part about them is, in addition to, making better use of a property than, an old building that's not in very good shape, maybe even a danger, is that it can be redeveloped and something good can go there, that something new and good can go there. Even if it's a parking lot, that can be useful.
Correct, which is good for economic development also.
Right, and a lot of these local entities, whether it's county, city, village, or whatever, they didn't have the money to do demolition projects.
Right.
But through this state grant, state money mainly, and through the land bank in Jackson County, they're doing a bunch of projects this year. Yeah. Same thing in Vinton County as well through this state grant. All right, a couple other things that we want to tell you about. We want to talk about the Festival of Flags. Because, we we couldn't talk about them last week because you had a lot of other stuff here. But I would feel remiss if we didn't mention it because it was one of the better ones, and we can say that honestly.
Yes.
The 30th Annual Festival of Flags, and it was terrific. They had good crowds. They had a beefed up schedule. And the thing that festival and fair people can't control, the weather was doggone near perfect.
It was beautiful.
I guess a little bit of rain at night when it didn't matter, over the overnight hours, from what I understand from Jennifer Hughes. But Dylan, we got a video. Jeremiah Shaver did one of these videos, partially for use on television. We also have it online as well. But it will give you a pretty good snapshot of the festival, Dylan, whenever you can roll her.
Thanks.
Hello, I'm Jeremiah Shaver. I'm a multimedia journalist with the Telegram. I'm here at the 30th Annual Oak Hill Festival of Flags, where we're bringing you a recap from this year's festival. We were down here, myself, 3 of the 4 days to bring you the sights and sounds of this year's festival. We talked to some few folks, asked them what their favorite memory was from the Festival of Flags, and we have that all wrapped up in a nice little package for you guys here to watch. So hope you guys enjoy. The village of Oak Hill came to life over the Memorial Day weekend as the Oak Hill Festival of Flags celebrated 3 decades. Since its inception in 1992, the Festival of Flags has become a true homecoming event that attracts alumni and former residents alike. The festival charges no admission and has brought first-class entertainment to the community for 30 years now. This year's festival felt bigger and better because of the generosity of Atomic Credit Union. The bank was able to allow the festival to use an adjacent lot next to the bank, which allowed for the festival committee to have the ride company spread out the rides and games, which allowed for the 30th celebration to feel bigger and better. The 30th annual Oak Hill Festival of Flags got underway on Friday, May 26, 2023, with official opening ceremonies taking place at 5:30 p.m. on the main stage. Here is the national anthem sung by Rick Knoll.
And the home of the brave.
Also during the opening ceremonies, a special presentation was held. Jennifer Hughes, who is a member of the Oak Hill Festival of Flags Committee, presented longtime committee member Joyce McClurg, who retired this year, a special plaque thanking her for her time and dedication. McClurg had been a member of the Festival of Flag Committee for around 20 years. Current and former Festival of Flag Committee members took turns ringing Jackson County's Ohio Bicentennial Bell. Each member rang the bell until they reached a count of 30 to mark the special anniversary year.
And 30! And one to grow on. Well, they're really excited. And now the Oak Hill Festival of Flags Committee proclaim that the 30th Annual Festival of Flags is open.
Following the official opening ceremonies on Friday, a 30th anniversary festival party was held with free cupcakes and prizes, which also included free American flags for the first 30 people who stepped forward. All that was sponsored by Mark Porter Ford Auto Group. On the second day of the festival, which was Saturday, May 27th, 2023, the Telegram took time to walk around and talk to some different individuals to find out what their favorite Festival of Flag memory was. Here's those responses.
My favorite Festival of Flags memory is the first time I saw Dwight Eisenhower, an Elvis tribute artist, at the Oak Hill Festival of Flags. I had never seen an Elvis impersonator before. I thought it was a joke. I couldn't believe it. And then he began to sing, and I thought he was singing karaoke. Little did we know how talented he is. He's a 5-time world champion to this day. I'm very good friends with him at this time, and he's been at the festival several times. He is one of the biggest entertainers to bring in as much people to the festival in the 30 years of the festival.
Hi there. My favorite memory of the festival is my first year as the school resource officer at the elementary school, when I worked with businesses and just residents of the village, and we was able to provide every student at the elementary for the last 4 years with a personal ride pass to come here. If it wasn't for the businesses and the individuals, it could be a hardship with the family to bring, if they had 3 or 4 siblings, to come to ride and enjoy the day. But to see the smiles on the kids' faces, that's my best memory of the festival.
My favorite festival memory is when I was on the court for 2 years straight, traveling around and spreading the good word about our village here. I love to be able to represent Oak Hill.
My favorite festival flags memory is one of the rides where all the queens from the festival went on, and then we were going on it for like maybe 10 times, and the ride full on broke on us.
My favorite Festival of Flags memory is just the parade every year. It's just awesome to see your friends and, you know, watch everybody driving through. It's just a really great time in Oak Hill, so we love it.
Okay, I have more than one favorite Festival of Flags memory. One is the performance of the Eagles cover band, Seven Bridges. I loved them. I thought they were really wonderful. And another one was back in 2003, we had the Ohio Bicentennial celebration that year. And in addition to serving on the committee, I was part of a choir that performed at that festival. And we got recognition from the governor and our state representative, and it was really a great event. And we were happy to celebrate the 200th birthday of the state of Ohio at the festival.
One attraction at this year's festival that many people seem to enjoy was a booth set up, and at that booth was the OSU superfan Buckeye Guy. The Telegram got the opportunity to talk with him as well.
Hey folks, how you doing? It's Buckeye Guy right down here at the Festival of Flags. It don't get no bigger than this, folks. I'm telling you, it's all good down here. It's gives you a homey feel, a family feel right down here in Oak Hill Festival of Flags. Man, Buckeye Guy, I'm telling you, glad to be here. It's my first time. I hope it's not my last. Thank you, OH.
You're flying high above the ground.
On Saturday evening, the opening act was Damon Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell was actually a part of the headlining act's band. That band for the opening act was Adam Calvert. Mr. Calvert is an Ohio native singer, songwriter, and those in attendance on Saturday evening really enjoyed his performance. The third day of the festival was Sunday, May 28th, 2023. One of the big highlights of Sunday is always the Grand Parade. This year was the first year in many that the parade was announced as the units passed by the festival grounds. There were close to 100 units in the 30th Annual Oak Hill Festival of Flags Grand Parade. Among those were brothers Steve and Jerry Boggs of Oak Hill. The brothers own and operate Boggs Pest Control along with family. They were the Festival of Flags Parade Grand Marshals this year. The brothers' father had started the business in 1972. Following the parade on the main stage was the crowning of the 2023 Oak Hill Festival of Flags royalty.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is our contestants for our 2023 corps.
Shown are members of the newly crowned 2023 Oak Hill Festival of Flags. From the left, Miss Festival of Flags Bailey Antonera, Teen Miss Festival of Flags Emma Figgins, Junior Miss Festival of Flags Trinity Fulkerson, and Little Miss Festival of Flags Hayden Zener. The 30th edition of the Oak Hill Festival of Flags came to a close on Memorial Day, which was Monday, May 29th, 2023, with a number of activities for people to enjoy throughout the day. The festival came to its ultimate close at 4 p.m. that afternoon.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, welcome back, folks. We hope that you enjoyed that special visit to the Festival of Flags. I know I was talking with James about it. He said it was probably the biggest one he's ever seen, like bigger and better than ever. So good. And thank you, Jeremiah, for that visit.
Right. Oh, that was a great video recap, which I'm not surprised Jeremiah does a great job putting those together. And, pictures are worth 1,000 words. And so that was very good. But what I want to do, just to put a cap on it, is to give credit to the committee that makes this happen.
Absolutely.
It's not some huge committee or corporation or government entity that makes this happen. I know that there's a lot of enablers and helpers and volunteers, but the core committee that organizes this and then conducts the festival is composed of Brian Moore, Chris Walls, Felicia Walls, Autumn Perkins, Scott Perkins, and Jennifer Hughes.
Yes.
And they are to be commended.
Absolutely.
Because, when you do these smaller events and festivals and fairs, and you don't have the government money or whatever, it's challenging just to put it on, let alone have a quality festival where you knew you hit the jackpot like this one.
And and Pete, I don't think a lot of people understand these things don't just happen in a week's time. Like these are year-round planning events, and so these committee people are planning already for next year's event.
Oh, they are.
You don't just say, oh, shoo, that's over. We'll wait till next, June and plan another event. It's not like that at all.
No. And sometimes the best laid plans, you set the table, it can be ruined by things like the weather.
For sure.
Because people don't have to go to fairs and festivals and outdoor events, and they usually won't if they're not going to be comfortable.
That's right.
Or there's not something there that, compels them to go no matter what.
Global pandemics put a kibosh on it sometimes too.
Right. Well, that set everybody back for sure through that one year plus for sure. But a couple other things wrapping up from that weekend. Of course, the Jackson and Wellston graduations were held.
Yes.
Oak Hill and Vinton County the week before. But, we want to give a final salute to the top students in each of those classes, the class of 2023 at Wellston High School. Of course, we had Grace Plummer.
Yes.
And Shayla Rice, who were they call them the best of the class at Wellston, but they are the top ranking academic people. There's Grace Plummer right there. And there is Shayla Rice.
Yep.
And we know both of them very well.
Yes.
Shayla was actually job shadowing with us.
Was.
We didn't know that she was a celebrity when we had her.
I know. She didn't toot her own horn at all, did she?
Right. And then at Jackson High School, both of these were held, by the way, on the evening of Friday, May the 26th. At Jackson High School, there were 4 valedictorians, and we have their photo as well. And there they are from the left. We have Alexis Bragg, Katie Brown, Donnie Cruz,
yep.
and Natalie Malone, and on the end is Principal Tyler Swackhammer.
Yep.
So we want to congratulate all the members of the graduating class. Big thing for them, but those are the very top students in each of those 2 classes. All right, we want to also a couple other things that weekend. We had the Jackson and Wellston alumni.
Yeah.
Both of them went off very well, by the way.
Good.
The Jackson High School alumni was big because 4 different anniversary year graduating classes were honored in the spotlight in that program, which was on Saturday evening, May 27th at Jackson Middle School, classes of 1970, 71, 72, and 73. That's because of COVID and no program for 3 years, the Rona. So 4 years worth of program packed into one night. And one of the things that happened at that program, they kind of consolidated it with alumni, was the Hall of Honor, the Jackson High School Hall of Honor, where you had 3 new inductees there, and they were the late Dick Berry, and of course Dick's wife Jan was unable to attend. Also, neither of his sons able to attend. He has 2 sons. which was regrettable, but still a great honor.
Sure.
Kim Harless, who is on the Board of Education, went over his resume. Of course, Jim Reynolds, a great teacher, administrator, football coach at Jackson High School. He was honored, and also myself was honored.
Pete Wilson! Woo! Pete!
Somehow I got thrown in there.
Well deserved.
But anyway,
Pete.
from left to right in that picture, the school people were so super about this. They made us feel so special. And that is Superintendent Phil Howard, and all 5 members of the Board of Education were there in that photo. If you're looking at it from the left, Board of Education member Dr. Brian Morris, board member Butch Cooper, then inductee Wilson, inductee Reynolds, board member Brian Moore, board member Kim Harless. Then you have board member Pat McDonald, and on the end, Superintendent Phil Howard. Alumni, we want to also credit the speakers. From the class of 70, giving the toast was Chuck Brown. The class of 71, Dr. Raymond Lynn Booth. Class of 72, Steve Keller. And class of 73, Ed Chin. Congratulations to Megan Wiseman, the president of the Alumni Committee.
Yep.
And Vicki Howell Williams. She's the secretary, and I don't care what position she is, she makes it all go. She is the glue for the Alumni Committee. Needed to say that. Also, the Wellston High School alumni was meeting that same night. Oh, by the way, at the happening, I got to tell you this, the Parks Edge Event Center can hold about 350 people, I'm told. I think there were about that many people there at the after party. It was great socializing. Morgan Washam gave us live music as well, which made it special. Tina King of King's Catering did a great job with the buffet. It was just great socializing. I think everybody who went was glad they did.
Good.
Because sometimes you have mixed emotions about, whether you're going to do this on a holiday weekend. Do I really want to do that? I think most people really were glad that they did. It turned out to be a big success. Also a success was the Wellston High School alumni. They've done it for 133 years now. They had it at Wellston Middle School. Our own John Pelletier, who used to be our own.
Yes. We still call him our own, right?
Right. He's the alumni president. That's a title that he's continued to hold, I think, because nobody else is willing to take it. Well, he was the MC. Susie Emmert from the class of 73, 50-year anniversary class. We know Susie real well. She was the Toastmaster. She gave some comments. But they did honor, there is John Pelletier, and she is with Peggy Shoemate. Peggy Shoemate is a Wellston High School graduate, and she won what is called the President's Award.
Awesome.
And that goes each year to a Wellston alumni who is recognized for his or her contributions to the Wellston community. Peggy graduated in the class of 1965 at Wellston High School. So congratulations to her. John Sylvester, the late John Sylvester, who was in the United States Navy, high-ranking officer. He retired as a vice admiral. Of course, long since deceased, but he was honored posthumously as the inductee into the Wellston Wall of Achievement. That's like the Hall of Honor in Jackson.
Yes.
But his family very prominent in Wellston, and he is buried in Ridgewood Cemetery. There was no family member that was able to come. Not sure about his extended family now, but they did, of course, honor his career and service and his connections with Wellston.
Absolutely.
All right. We want to tell you that later this week, this is getting to be a very big event in Vinton County and in Southern Ohio, the Southern Ohio Forest Rally.
Crazy.
Some people really like the race cars. I'll admit I don't know a whole lot about it, but this is one of the stops on a rally circuit. And
like nationally known,
right,
big,
nationally known.
huge deal.
I'm told this is one of the most popular ones because they go over a series of forest roads in southern and southeastern Ohio.
Yeah, super cool.
The Scioto Trail State Forest, the Shawnee State Forest, and the Zaleski State Forest. The Zaleski State Forest, of course, in Vinton County, that is the final leg of the rally, by the way. That's going to be on Saturday, June the 10th. There are some roads that are going to be closed that we're going to have in the paper so you know where they are. But they're basically state forest roads around Zaleski. They will be closed to the public that day. Earlier in the day, before they run that final stage, they're going to close down a section of Main Street in MacArthur, roughly, I'm told, the same block where the Turkey Festival is.
Yeah.
And they're going to have some of these rally cars.
So cool.
And booths and vendors operating there.
Yep.
And, it's getting to be popular locally, but it really brings in a lot of people from the outside that likes they follow this circuit.
It does.
And so it's got a good tourism thing as well.
Sure.
So we'll be reporting a little bit more on that, but that's the Southern Ohio Forest Rally. That actually starts tomorrow, by the way, in Ross County. So you'll see a lot more activity up there. The chamber very involved up there. You'll see a lot more people in town, some special events there. It'll be in Ross County, then we'll move on to Scioto County, and then finally over to Benton County. All right, some highway projects to tell you about. This is starting today. And if you're heading to Chillicothe or Columbus or whatever, you won't be able to stop at the rest area there on US 35. Remember, it was
I'm so confused. It was just closed.
I know it was closed for all that time when they.
Why are we closing it again?
When they did the highway safety job, but
was standing in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, read about got knocked out by a semi truck.
Well, this is what ODOT says. Work is set to begin today for reconfiguration and improvements at the rest area and the parking lot.
They just did it.
Improvements include changes to the existing entrances and exits, new striping, and additional concrete installation. The rest area and parking lot will be closed while this work is being done. Work is estimated to be completed in summer 2023, so we don't have it really pinned down.
Summer of 2023. Okay.
Probably through a good bit of the summer, I'm thinking. Also, you'll notice out on US 35, just outside town to the west towards Chillicothe, a lot of one-lane traffic involved because of resurfacing there, so be careful when you drive
Ran
through
into
there.
that the other day.
In Benton County, US Route 50, a section of that on the west end of MacArthur, there is resurfacing and pedestrian improvements that is taking place. I understand the barrels were already out. I don't know whether it started yet, but this is on US Route 50 between State Route 683, that's to the west there, towards Allensville, and State Route 278, which is on the east end of MacArthur. But in addition to resurfacing, they're also going to be putting in a crosswalk right in front of Benton County High School. This is considered to be a very important for safety.
Good idea.
Because if you are familiar with the high school and middle school there, it's on one side of the highway. On the other side is some commercial things, RNC Quick Stop, McDonald's, and so they're worried about kids crossing that highway right there, which is a U.S. highway, can be very busy. So resurfacing on U.S. Route 50, both east and west of MacArthur on 50, and then also the crosswalk project. That work is or will be taking place very soon.
Cool.
All right, tomorrow is the first day of the summer summer movie series at the Tri-City Theater here in Jackson. Kung Fu Panda will be the first.
Dylan's so excited over there.
Right, on Tuesday, June the 6th. It's going to be each Tuesday. Show times will be 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Completely free. First come, first serve. I understand that they come out in droves for these free movies. And so doors will open 1 hour before each showtime. The staff recommends arriving at least 30 minutes ahead of time. No tickets needed. Just show up. Seating is limited. It is not guaranteed. They wouldn't be saying that if they weren't really popular.
That's right.
But they will go through July the 25th on Tuesdays, 2 showtimes each day.
What is the Kung Fu Panda's name?
Poe.
Poe?
Poe.
James says yes. Okay. I was just putting them on the spot to see if they really knew.
All right. Well, free summer movies, kind of geared to families and kids for sure.
Good ones.
All right. Yeah, we won't have any horror suspense.
No.
In that list there.
No.
Okay, speaking of a different kind of show, the Apple City Players are going to be doing their production of Play On this weekend at the Marquet Cultural Arts Center, the Marquet Theater. It's going to be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 7 p.m. on Friday and Saturday evenings, and then Sunday at 2 p.m. Tickets are on sale online at www.marquettickets.org. Tickets are a little less if you get them online ahead of time. And I think we're going to have some programming here on Main Street TV a little bit later on that. I'll be saying more about it maybe later in the week if I'm on again.
That's awesome, sure.
And we're going to have a little bit of a preview, we hope, in Wednesday's paper as well. But Apple City Players, I tell you what, this is the truth. I haven't seen everyone, but I've seen most of them, and everyone has been good.
Yes.
So just because we're dealing with amateurs here and local people, don't think that they're not good.
A lot of local talent here.
Absolutely. Okay, my brother's place over in Wellston, they do the clothing. They do the charity clothing and also a food bank there.
Yes.
Connie Pelletier is the new director there. She actually started last week. She announced at the end of last week new hours there.
Okay.
They're going to be uniform because before they're open Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That will stay the same. But before, they had different hours each day and different hours for food and clothing. She thought it would be simpler if the hours were the same each day for food and clothing, period.
That makes sense.
9 a.m. to 3 p.m. is when that will be open. I'm sorry, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Previously, as I said, the hours varied, and they were not the same for clothing and food.
Okay.
But that's 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at my brother's place. That is 116 South Railroad Avenue in Wellston. Okay, on the sports side, a couple of things to talk about. Did you know that we had a Jackson County athlete in the state track meet last Friday? Garrett McInnes. Garrett was there. That is Garrett. I believe he is there on the far left. Garrett finished 14th out of like 18 runners, which is very good because we're talking about state competition.
The best in the state, yes.
He was the only one from Jackson or Vinton counties to make the state. He is only a junior.
Wow. Way to go, buddy.
Congratulations to him. He did the 400 meters in 51.84 seconds, finished 14th overall. That was at the Jesse Owens Memorial Stadium in Columbus. Big deal. We have some initial information online, but we will have some more of a story in Wednesday's paper as well.
Very good.
But he finished fourth in the regional meet. That got him to Columbus. And there, the top four, it's either the top four or the top five from each region come there. And there's a field of either 16 or 18 at the state, because I think there's a couple alternates. I'm not sure if all of them run, but at least 16 of them run.
Whew.
And so he did very well. He is the first Oak Hill athlete to be there since 2011. So that is really, really good on his part. He is, by the way, the son of Oak Hill High School head boys basketball coach Heath McInnes. His mom, Melissa, teaches over at Wellston. They live in Jackson. And, of course, Garrett also played on the football team and the basketball team. He is only a junior, so he has one more year to excel in athletics. Heath told me on the phone, by the way, Heath did not run track in his time. He was a pretty good basketball player at Gallia Academy, and he's coached here at Jackson and now at Oak Hill. And his family, the McInneses, historically are from Wellston, so he has all kinds of local connections. But Heath told me that his father, Ray, the late Ray McInnes, still holds the 220-yard record at Wellston High School, and that was back in 1972.
Wow.
So it is in the blood there.
Pretty cool.
All right. This was kind of a delayed thing that we had in the paper, but still worthy of mentioning. Remember, it was announced some time ago that Kyan Irvin, the outstanding Wellston basketball player who broke all kinds of records, I think he finished third in all-time scoring at Wellston. He might have even become the all-time leading scorer if he didn't have a serious knee injury before the end of the season. He announced recently that he was going to play at the University of Rio Grande. And we had a big story about him. We interviewed him. Todd Compston did. That story, by the way, is online and was in our print edition last week. We want to acknowledge Kyan Irvin. They had a nice signing ceremony for him that Todd covered. So congratulations to Kyan Irvin. There is Kyan right there sitting front and center.
Cool beans.
Rob and Tanya, his parents, flanking him, and Rio Grande coaches right there in the back.
Cool.
All right. The pools are open, and man, have they benefited from some weather.
Oh my gosh,
Jamie
have you seen
and
that
parking lot at Hillcrest?
Jamie and I drove by Hillcrest yesterday. I don't know what time it was. It was close to noon, and I mean, there were people just running in there. I thought it was really cool.
Well, it's a good thing they expanded the parking
It
lot
looks
at Hillcrest.
so nice up there,
It
too.
does, and I saw
My
them putting up
goodness.
the standards for the basketball court. And remember, the basketball court is going to double as a pickleball court when it's all done, which I think will be pretty soon because Randy Evans seems to get things done. But, of course, a new paid parking lot up there at Hillcrest. Kaylee Lower, the manager there, looks like they've had a great attendance here in their first week. At Oak Hill, the Margaret Ann pool is open. Joy Hale has that going too. And remember, both of these pools, very affordable, $4 admission for adults, $2 for kids.
Yep.
And under a certain age, I think it's free.
That's great.
And you can do the season passes. Those are very affordable as well. Very cheap entertainment. And not a lot of these towns have municipal pools anymore. I know Wellston would like to get one again. So don't take for granted that we have a pool and
Absolutely.
the municipalities support them. Oak Hill even has a parks and recreation levy that helps pay for it.
Yep, it's wonderful, especially as hot as it was last week. You know, just a good place for the kids and adults to get to cool off and chill out.
All right. There are different programs that go on in the summer. I haven't found out about all of them yet, but TLC Ministries is one that's doing the free summer meal programs.
Okay.
That's where you can pick up a free meal or even have one delivered to you. They are starting their program today, and they have pickup times where you can come to pick up meals. They make it as convenient as possible at the Bundy Heights Apartments, Blamer Field, Wells Manor Apartments, Fairview Terrace Apartments. That's all in Wellston. Then Colton Park in Colton, and Warriors for Christ in Jackson.
Okay.
I believe that there is another summer food program that operates in Jackson. I don't have information on that yet. And then there's usually one in Oak Hill too that I've not heard about. But as we get this information, we will share it. But if some families and kids, because of both parents working or income or convenience or whatever, they really needed the school meals that were available at low or no cost. This is an opportunity to have meals provided in the summer as well at lunchtime.
Absolutely.
All right. I want to pitch the Limerick Grange Strawberry Festival. Talk about a good home-cooked meal that you can get, and it's only $8. The Strawberry Festival will be this Saturday out at the Limerick Grange there on Savageville Road. But the Limerick Grange will give you a meal of chicken noodles, mashed potatoes, green beans, coleslaw, rolls, drink, and strawberry shortcake for $8. How's that sound?
What? $8?
I think it might be up $1 at most.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Carry-out options are available. That's important to me because I'm always in a hurry.
Very good.
All right, and we'll be giving you a bunch of information on 4th of July as we get it.
Yes.
Because that's about a month away now. But the Village of Wilkesville has announced that they will have a 4th of July parade again, and they're going to add some elements to it. That is one of the best. Wilkesville has about 200 people, but it's one of the best small-town 4th of July parades you will ever see, and that is the truth. But it's going to be on Tuesday, July 4th at 11 a.m. It is open to all festivals, fairs, and event royalty. There will be awards for unique, most patriotic, and many other categories. I think there's an animal category. Visiting royalty members will be invited to announce themselves at the stage, and then at the Wilkesville Fire Department royalty, which is new. I think they started that last year. They will be giving their speeches, and there will be new royalty crowned as well. Registration for that parade starts at 10 o'clock. All you have to do is show up for that, and then you can be in the parade. That is at 11.
Maybe the bear will show up.
Right. Maybe the bear will show up. Maybe it's working its way that way now. So everybody out there, we got to sign off. But if you see the bear, get pictorial evidence and let us know.
That's right. Let us know, and don't bother the bear.
Because I wrote this in the newspaper story. I was a little bit ornery, but I think it's true. We didn't have an Elvis sighting. Taylor Swift was not performing from the gazebo.
Correct.
And we didn't have a triple homicide, but that bear got probably more attention than any of those three would have.
You know what? If we had to choose one, let's go with the bear.
I think that one of the little videos that we posted has nearly 25,000 views.
Oh my goodness.
Something else, I'll tell you.
Isn't that crazy?
So we will continue to follow the story. We might not follow the bear, but we will follow the story.
We will follow the story.
All right.
All right. Well, have a great day, everyone. Pete, thank you so much for filling us in on what's going on here locally, and we appreciate you so much. And we will be back here tomorrow. So have a great day. We'll see you then. Bye.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
thetelegrammnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, thetelegrammnews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
thetelegrammnews.com.
Subscribe today at thetelegrammnews.com.
Check it out.